Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be while you are checking out this episode. We are chatting today about time management and organization on Lunch with a Life Coach. So, here's what I need you to do. This is going to be part one of two because there are two really distinct components of time management that sometimes we might spend a great deal of time on one without thinking about the other. And of course, then we don't get our optimal results. We certainly might get some results, which is awesome. I feel the way about most things as I do with fitness, for example, that if you are putting in your time and effort, your energy, your physical energy, your mental energy, I want you to get the results that you really could. I want you to optimize your effort. So that's what we'll talk about today, optimizing the efforts in time management and organization. First of all, put aside your calendar, because we're not talking about your calendar today in this episode. We are talking about the step before we even look at our calendar. So some of the things, and this is part two, we'll touch on how to do some time blocking and organizing to optimize the calendar, to how to really, make the best use of our brain, put our brain to work in the way it's kind of designed to work, to really help us kind of flow through the things we're working on. So we will talk about calendars in the next episode. Today, I really want you to think about this. When you are thinking, my goodness, I need to better manage my time or organize myself, there's often just an overlap. Sometimes when folks say organize, they're referring to all the things, right? It might be physical things in a space, it might be tasks to be done, appointments to be made, calls to be made, etc., right? All of those things. Really, that's about managing our time. Now, step back from what we call the weeds, right? I often talk about like getting in the weeds, or the other analogy I love is sort of if you've ever been to, I often think of a wedding a wedding that a girlfriend of mine that I was in many, many moons ago, and it had the dance floor, and then above the dance floor was a balcony. So if I'm in the dance on the dance floor, I should say, we in the weeds, right? We're down there with the music and all the people and the maybe pushing, shoving, dancing, energy, etc. Are we're really kind of caught up in the moment, right? There's no judgment of that. Just to give you an idea of what I mean when I say on the dance floor or on the balcony. Now, sometimes we need to be on the dance floor. We need to be doing the nitty gritty kind of work. We need to be dancing. We need to be doing the thing. Other times, and this is where I want us to be today, is we have to zoom out and we have to go up on the balcony, right? And we have to be able to look at all of the, in this case, people in the dance floor, or in our case, what we're talking about, are all the tasks that are, or the things that we are considering organizing. So when we are taking, let's say, business tasks, just you could make it anything, but just so that we're consistent with one sort of topic, business tasks. And you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you are doing all the things. Your dance floor is packed, right? There are many different tasks on that dance floor, many different people on the dance floor. We get stuck there. And sometimes when we try to organize from the dance floor. So imagine if you, even if you had a whistle, I'm on the dance floor, the music's blaring, maybe even I'm a little bit shorter than the other people on the dance floor, so I can't really see, right? And I'm trying to organize those folks. I'm trying to say, hey, everybody that's wearing a red shirt, I need you to come over here. Everybody that's wearing a blue shirt, I need you to come over here. Everybody that's got on a pink shirt, come over here, etc., right? Imagine how difficult that would be. And sometimes when we start to try to organize our calendar, we are doing that, right? We have all these tasks in front of us and we're trying to like move them. Well, we're trying to get our space. We're trying to make our way. If we were up on the dance floor, you would actually be able to see sort of that bird's eye view of being, okay, now look at where there's a whole bunch of red shirt folks over here. And when I was on the dance floor, I didn't know that. I was trying to get all the red shirts to move this way. No wonder it was so difficult. When I have my bird's eye view, I might say, hey, all the red shirts are here. And look, there's just one little red shirt. I just need to get that person over there, right? So this episode is about taking the balcony view, taking the bird's eye view. So with that analogy, I hope that that's helpful. With that analogy, here's what I want you to think about. What are the priorities that actually move things forward that you need to spend your time on? Because when we don't take that approach, we have 100 things on our to-do list, 100 people on the dance floor. And maybe it's actually the first part. So I'm going to leave the people analogy. It just doesn't sound very nice. I don't want to ask anybody to leave the dance floor. We love people moving and getting their groove on, right? So we're going to shift from that analogy. I want you to think about your to-do list as an entrepreneur or whatever situation you want to plug in. And that to-do list has 100 things in it. And this is where things can go kind of a little bit off the rails. We try to take those 100 things and put them in your calendar, right? Are you with me? We do that, right? We take that and we go, hey, I got 100 things. I just need to better organize them in my calendar. That's the thing. Friends, that's not the thing. There is no way that you can do those 100 things plugged in your calendar and do them to the best of your ability and do them in the way that you want to do them, right? So here's where you need to get a little bit ruthless. I need you to, if you've been following me for any stretch of time, done any coaching with me, you have been asked this question before, or you've been invited to do this exercise before. I need you to do the now, never, next. What is now? What is the next thing or things? I'll shift my focus to what is never, i.e. what's coming off the list. Friends, if you've got 3 things on your list, that's a priority list. Awesome. If you have 20 things, that's a to-do list that is not going to move things forward for you, because that's what we're talking about, right? And in the big picture, you're up on the balcony again. If you're on the dance floor, if you're kind of in the weeds of things, you're like, oh, I just want to kind of get my busy work done because I just want to get to the end of the day. That's a dance floor perspective. And that might be where things are for you right now. I say with no judgment. For folks that are like, I got big things that I want to accomplish. I want to move forward. I've got to lead this team, this family, etc., towards this big goal. Big is relative to everybody, right? Then we've got to take that more strategic balcony perspective. So you're going to take your list of things. So the first thing I want you to just brainstorm all the things that can come to you in terms of what do you get stuck on? What do you find you need to do? Like, what are the things already that you're doing? What are the things that you notice yourself? Well, maybe we will look at our calendar and touch. You write it on Monday, then you see, oh, darn, it's there again on Tuesday, it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, it's still there on Saturday because I didn't get to it. I want you to find all of those things, okay? And then you're going to take that list. All I want you to do is a big brainstorm, brain dump, whatever you want to call it. Get a whiteboard, a piece of paper, however it works best for you, and write down all the things. Now, what do you want in terms of what is the goal that you're working towards? Now, this may be something family-based, or it may be business-based, career, or whatever. What is the thing that's really key for you right now? Start to highlight. So if you're a visual person, take one color highlighter, highlight what's now. The only thing that you're the only thing I would invite you to think about putting on the now is what moves you directly impacts your ability to move towards the goal. Okay? Doing your dishes does not move you towards the goal of growing your business. Okay? And yeah, then we go, well, dishes need to be done. I get it. I know that. Then they're going to need to be done later. If you are really trying to grow that business, I need you to look at what are the things that are now. What is going to move the needle towards the goal you're after? Then Go to the other end of the sort of continuum. What is never? What are the things that are on your list that have been there for ages? You don't ever seem to get to them. They need to come off. They need to be a never. Now, here's something that happens, and I feel this too, is that we look at it and go, oh, but it's about calling the furnace company because I need to schedule a furnace service, right? I need that little tune-up that needs to be done yearly. Guilty. And it just never seems to happen because it's kind of, full transparency. It's one of those things that I keep putting off because I also think about having to clean up the furnace room for the person to get to the furnace. What will I do with the dogs? Like, it's a pain, right? I just need to work on shifting my mindset of that. So here's the thing. That is something that maybe needs to go on the never list, but it actually needs to be done at some point. So either it's a full never, right? There are some things you just have on there because you think you should, you're supposed to, somebody told you you should. If you have stuff on your list that's that you don't want to do, you don't need to do, like it's not part of your vision and goal, get rid of it. If somebody else told you to put it on there, toss it, make it an actual never. The other thing to consider, some things like the furnace service, I'm coaching myself a little bit, I guess, through this one, right? Is that it actually does need to be done. And I have two options. We have two options in something that's a never. I just can't seem to get to it. So I can delay it to be a time to revisit, or I could delegate it, right? If it's a never, meaning it needs to come off of my calendar, it needs to come off of your calendar and your list, how can we do that? Either we can just toss it completely. And I invite you to, not with the furnace service, but I invite you to do that, to think about that. If you tossed it completely, chuck it. If you're like, I feel really weird about that, write it in a little piece of paper, crumple it up, throw it in the garbage. If it doesn't actually sort of come back to your mind for the next while, doesn't impact you, all of a sudden you're in the new year and you're like, oh, I forgot about that thing. It's truly a never. And I know some things we've got to delay. So you have the other options, right? Of delegate it. Who else could help you out with that? Who else could take care of that? Or put it on a revisit. And I have often done that, right? That I think, okay, that is a never for me right now, currently, because my now list is full. We'll come to the next in a second. My now list is full. It needs to be a never for now. Sometimes I'll say, never for now. I got to put it on a revisit in January, April, October, etc. Right? Whatever works best. Okay. So you know the now, you know the never. The next part is key as well. Because when you're, if you're, a bit action oriented, you're working through your now list, then what happens? You tick off, okay, I've got these 3 things on the now, done. Here's what happens. Sometimes we go, okay, so what's next? Like what, if I'm not clear on what do I pick up next? We spend time back on the dance floor, getting ready to get ready. And we go through the process again and we're reevaluating, we're doing all the things. You know what? You've already taken your time. You've brainstormed. You've done the now. You've done the never. What is next? I.e., when the now tasks are finished, what is the next immediate thing that's coming up? Don't jump ahead. If you're in the now, don't jump ahead to the next, even if it's something more pleasurable than you have on your list in the now. I want you to make yourself get the now done. Shift to the next. You know exactly what your next step is when those now tasks are done. Okay, so spend time with the now, never, next. And it is a great idea actually to spend some time doing that task before you shift on to the next episode, if it is something that you want to have a peek at. Because the next episode, we're going to talk about how to take your things that you've identified in the now, never, next, and how to put them in your calendar. So the next episode might feel a little bit funny if you actually don't have that framework created. So just a thought. And I wish you luck with your now, never, next, and I will see you back very soon. Have a great day.